Picture this. While soldiers hunkered in muddy trenches beneath the thunder of artillery miles behind the front lines, sat rooms full of minds wielding pencils like weapons. These were the human computers of the Great War, men and women whose mathematical genius transformed raw data into the precision that could mean the difference between a shell hitting its mark or falling harmlessly into no man's land. Their battlefield was paper, their ammunition was numbers, and their contribution to the war effort was nothing short of extraordinary. Yet, unlike the soldiers they supported, their names have been largely lost to history. When artillery crews prepared to fire their guns across the scarred landscape of France and Belgium, they relied on firing tables, complex charts that accounted for wind speed, air density, temperature, the weight of the shell, and the curvature of the earth itself. Creating these tables required thousands upon thousands of calculations, each one performed by hand, using logarithm tables and mechanical adding machines. Human computers worked in cramped offices, often for 12 hours at a stretch, their fingers stained with ink as they computed trajectory after trajectory. The work was monotonous, yet demanded absolute precision. A single decimal error could send shells into friendly positions. These computational teams operated much like assembly lines of thought. One person would calculate the initial velocity required, another would factor in atmospheric conditions, and a third would compile the final tables. The process was grueling, requiring the kind of mental endurance that parallels the physical stamina demanded of frontline troops. Just as soldiers learned to navigate treacherous terrain by reading subtle signs in the landscape, these mathematical warriors learned to navigate seas of numbers, spotting patterns and anomalies that could reveal calculation errors before they became fatal mistakes. The scope of human computation extended far beyond artillery. Aerial reconnaissance photographs required meticulous analysis. Specialists would measure shadows to determine the height of enemy fortifications, calculate angles to estimate distances, and create detailed maps from overlapping images. Naval warfare, demanded constant position plotting, careful fuel consumption calculations for convoy planning, and, some pretty complex trigonometry for submarine hunting. Cryptographers performed exhaustive frequency analysis on intercepted enemy communications, always searching for patterns in those seemingly random letter sequences. In Britain's Room 40, mathematicians worked alongside linguists to crack German naval codes, and their success at Jutland provided crucial intelligence that honestly shaped the battle's outcome. These code breakers understood that warfare had evolved beyond brute force. Victory belonged to those who could process information faster and more accurately than their adversaries. The human computers of the Great War were practicing what we now call information warfare, using nothing more than their minds, pencils, and, relentless determination. The lessons these forgotten geniuses teach us transcend their era. They remind us that survival and victory often depend not on the loudest voice or the biggest weapon, but on the quiet competence of those who think clearly under pressure. In our modern world of preparedness and self-reliance, their example endures. Patience, precision, and mental resilience remain essential tools in any survival kit. If this journey through history's hidden corners resonated with you, subscribe to Fieldcraft Chronicles and share this with fellow history enthusiasts and survivalists. Together, we keep these vital stories alive.